All right, guys, it's urgent real-time Bitcoin forecast time, but it's going to be all the markets, including the S&P 500, the US dollar, and the Chinese yuan. What's going to happen to your money? Are your stocks going to go up? Are your cryptos going to go down? What's going to happen to Solana and all of that? Now, let's start with looking at the charts, knowing that there's a lot of rumors going around about FTX liquidations happening this week. I don't think it'll make any difference at all. I don't think FTX is going to liquidate. Just because they can start liquidating today doesn't mean they will. It's like every single time they say Mt. Gox is going to start liquidating, they don't. The only couple times that it has happened to where liquidations have occurred is government liquidations. Like government confiscated a bunch of money laundering, drug lord money, and they're going to sell it at an auction. Yeah, that's caused a dump in the past, but I don't think this one will make much of a difference. I think Solana already hit bottom, but let's look at the big picture here. We're going to start with, why don't we start here at the S&P 500. If you look at the S&P 500 here, what do you see? Well, if you look closely, or if you look generally speaking, we have a range here, and then we have another range here. Okay, it's not confirmed with multiple retests of highs and multiple retests of lows. We've only touched low once, which is about the same as this price, and we've come near high once. So it's not really confirmed either way. So what hints that we can pick up so far as to whether this is going to be a double top, like an M pattern or a Gartley or a Cipher pattern, and just keep dumping, is in the local price action here. If you look at the local price action, you notice that this trend line is never touched. We're not retesting this trend angle. In fact, the higher trend angle that we have here is actually more acute. It's at a higher angle. So since we're not touching the lower line again, and we're accelerating, this could turn into another parabola. This is the definition of a parabola, where you go like this, and then you go like this, and then you go like this, and you go like this, and you keep going up. So there's no reason to say that this is top and this is double top yet. If we retest this lower, longer black line a couple times, then yeah, maybe we're bearish. But for now, there's no reason to think we're bearish. And that's confirmed by the fact that US government bonds, look at this, this is US government bonds here. This is an exact double top. Look at that. We have the last local high here, and then we have a high that's been rejected off the top, and then we're having a retest at the bottom that's double retesting. We're trying to retest and touch this red line again, and we're kind of failing. The only thing left to do is touch this black line now, which would create, yes, you got it, one shoulder, head, and another shoulder. Perfect ratio for head and shoulders, so this should dump. If US government bonds dumps, US government bonds are what nations buy, they're what banks buy to make sure that they keep getting an interest when stocks aren't going up. But if this is going to go down, what are they going to do? They're going to buy stocks. So let's see what would happen if these things go in opposite directions, by the way, these two things. Stocks and the US government bonds go in opposite directions. So this looks like this is going to continue up as long as this continues downward, as it looks like it will, because of the head and shoulders possibility here. Hasn't confirmed yet. All we have to do is touch this black line once, and that will give us a head and shoulders. Now, how about we look at the US dollar, because the US dollar is also the same as US government bonds. US dollar goes up because you have to buy the US dollar in order to buy US bonds, but the reverse happens as well. If the United States bonds dumps, then you're going to sell it, and you end up with a bunch of US dollars that you're not going to need, so you're going to sell the US dollars too, and US dollars go down. Let's see what's happening with the US dollars then. So if this goes down, this goes down. And if this goes down, this goes up, is basically what ends up happening. Let's see what's happening here with the US dollar. This is the USD. Yeah, it's bearish. Can you see why it's bearish? I guess I'll explain it to you farther. This is the trend that we this is the base trend before we started really hyper accelerating due to COVID and all the monies and all that everyone got, the stimulus checks and all that. But we started tapering back off at this level, at this continued red level. And then we went, since this is already too high and too expensive, we went lower, lower, lower with a 3 drive, 1 drive, 2 drive, and 3 drive. This is a perfect 3 drive, but it's also kind of a head and shoulders. It's a downward channel that always ends up breaking up. But when it breaks up, how high is it going to go? Is this just going to keep going up and retesting the highs for the US dollar like everyone keeps thinking it will? And the highs for the US dollar was like $1.14 for the per dollar. Right now we're at $1.04. Can you see that? We're at $1.04, and it was $1.14. However, this doesn't look like it's going to go any higher either, because as we are pumping, normally what would happen if we were going to pump, we're just going to go poof and go create a green candle right there and pump. But what happened was, I should have colored this line differently. I'm going to color this line differently right now and color this, let's try green for the US dollar. What do you see there? Yeah, that's a rising wedge with a exact bull trap top. So this needs to go under the blue line again to confirm a rising wedge with a bull trap top. And it looks like it might do that today or tomorrow. Really, really soon. If we don't go under the blue line, then yeah, we're going to continue to go up. But I think we will go under that blue line just because of the formation that we've made. And this particular point is also high resistance. It's also high resistance because it's right in between these 2 points, and it's also right at about the first shoulder height. But that's more technical stuff that I don't have to go into. The US dollar looks like it's going to go down. And to confirm that, the US bonds look like they're going to go down. And the S&P 500 is currently on a upward accelerating slope. Oh, so let's confirm that with global factors. Global factors, we have the Chinese yuan. Look at that though, man. The Chinese yuan, since 2016, 2015, literally this is like 7 years ago, 8 years ago, we're at the lowest price for the Chinese yuan ever. It's lower than it's ever been. So, I mean, that's super great news. Remember, it's the same thing with the US dollar. If the US dollar falls, what do? People buy stocks. If the Chinese yuan falls, what are they going to do? They're going to buy stocks. They're going to move money where money isn't falling. And so wherever they move to is going to go up, is what ends up happening. And are Asian stocks going to go up then? Because China invests largely in the US and in Korea. So guess what? We got Kospi, we got Korea. So if we look at the composite, Kospi composite, oh my gosh, that's huge. This is how long ago? This is like 5 years ago. This is like, well, 4 years ago. 4 years ago, and 2 years ago, this was top. This was bottom, and we're right here. So what does that mean? We fell from 3,300 all the way down to 2,100. My God, we lost about 50% of the Korean stock market. 50%, and we're only up about 2,100 to 25. We're only up about 15%. So we've got another 35% to go to retest all-time highs. It looks like that's going to happen. So stocks all look bullish, which means crypto looks bullish, especially since there's all this FUD about FTX. Whenever there's FUD, generally speaking, it's fake. Do the opposite of what you hear in the news. FTX is going to liquidate, sell everything. Do the opposite. An ETF is coming. Buy. Do the opposite. And so everything looks bullish right now. Anything else I need to tell you? If any of this changes, you want to follow me on Twitter, OTC_Bitcoin, OTC_Bitcoin. And if you want to get these, literally, you want to get these reports instead of once a month or once every couple of weeks, you want to get them 2-3 times a day. If you're an actual trader, daily professional trader, you want to join bitcoin-signals.org. Bitcoin-signals.org is where I give you high leverage, actionable trades all day long, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week without sleeping.